right. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be joining us from. Welcome to Code Live. Welcome to a Thursday .NET Dev Show. I'm your host, Sam, for the day, and you're stuck with me. I'm going to be the only one coding here. What are we up to? So just a quick rehash, because I've started this, but I haven't. I've promised that I will do most of it on screen, like on stream. So progress has been slow, but let me show you what I'm working on. And I could use some help. I could use a couple of extra pair of eyes as I do stuff here. So if I head over to blogs, I do work for Progress Telerik, by the way. So that's our blog, and if I head down here, every Monday, I'm into .NET MAUI a little bit, if you haven't heard. So it's, cross-platform .NET Dev for mobile, for desktop. It's, it's early days, so I get some of the, some of the hesitancy, but I think the promise is there. So I am excited by the prospect of what this enables. And every Monday, if you want to stay on top of news, I publish this thing called Sense of Maui. It's up to like issue 77, so it's been going on for a year and a half now. So it's, just news from the community or from the product team about updates and whatever else that needs to be shared. It's, sharing any of the excitement and the content that is relevant. And there's been a desire to make this into an app. Why don't we just dog food and make a .NET MAUI app so you can get the Maui news from a Maui app, right? So that's what I've been building. So let me show you. I actually haven't worked with this a whole lot in the last couple of weeks. So let me see where things are at. I think I ran this project yesterday. It was still running, but some of the framework and underlying pieces have changed, so I might need to update. All right, so Visual Studio 2022 for Mac is where I'm at. And I am running the latest preview, so like preview 4, 17.4. So many numbers these days. Oh, Visual Studio has an update, which I probably don't want to do right now. Let me check what is it that they're throwing our way. Oh, mono update. There's a new Visual Studio 17.4 2339. Yeah. Okay, I will update, but just not right now. All right, can we make this a little bigger? And the fonts are way too small. All right, okay, so let's collapse all of this stuff, make this a little bigger. There you go. All right, and let me know, folks, if I need to bump up my fonts anymore, and I will. Okay, so this is a classic .NET MAUI app, but it has a little bit of the Blazor web view stuff, although I'm not using any Blazor. But this is, straight up .NET MAUI. You'll notice MAUI program.cs does the usual bootstrapping with the .NET generic host builder, registers a few fonts and a few other things. It is bringing in the web view, which I don't think I actually need. But once I get going in my app.xaml, I think our first page is this issue list. So I want to present you with a list of issues first, and then you get to tap on each one, and then shows you the details. So the classic, MVVM design pattern model view model that works. So I have two views here. One's the list, one's the detail. Pretty self-explanatory, and then I got a couple of view models here, which is the list view model and then the regular view model. And what else? This is all some of the Blazor stuff, which I don't need. Services. I am using a custom-built service called Cosmos Service because the data for this is it's in a CMS, but I am hosting the list of all of the issues and each of the details in a kind of a blob container, and I don't know if it's an overkill, but I'm using Azure Cosmos DB for it. So I don't know if I ever want to change it up, or if there are better ways to host some HTML, I can change it up. But essentially, I don't want to redo the work of, formatting all of this. It's already HTML. I just want to render this. let's see if this runs. Actually, Mac Catalyst, that should be fine. But I think this is an older project now. I need to update. Yeah. Chat room, where are you joining from? Where are you at? Which part of the world? Is it morning for you? I've had 2 cups of coffee. I'm feeling okay. All right, so the app runs. All right, so super simple. It's got nothing UI-wise going for it, but there are a couple of issues here, like Sam Basu issue 1, 2, and 3. These are coming down from the cloud service because we hit Azure Cosmos DB and then we bring it back a list. Oh, hey, Alan Rich is here. Not enough coffee yet. So let's see if my tooling is working on this Thursday. Yeah, there you go. So Alan is a respected member of our XAML community, and he actually lives close enough to me. I think Toronto, right? So I'm in Northwest Pennsylvania, so we just have a big lake to cross before I can get into Canada. All right, so yeah, let's see. And I'm not using any extra frameworks here. I know Alan maintains Shiny. There are a few other MVVM things coming up. I'm not using, because this is a simple app, but I might need some help from some toolkits and some of the frameworks have some niceties that I want to bring in. Prism. Yes, Prism, of course. And I mean, I'll show you what I got. Like I'm using like observable collections. I mean, it's just super simple, so I don't have a need yet. Hold on, let me see if I can tone back the volume a little bit on the music. I don't know if it's too much. It was a little too much in my ears, so that might be hopefully a little better. Okay, so when I tap on this, this is a XAML list view. It's actually the Telerik list view, which I don't have a need to use because I'm not using any of the features yet. I might want to add a few more features to it, but I didn't want to use the generic collection view. This one's a little bit more performant. So when I tap on it, so that's the list view. And then you go into a detail page, and this whole thing is actually a web view. So it's just giving me some, some made up content. And then the issue number 2 actually has a real thing in here. So you see this web view that's rendering the whole thing in here. And there are a couple of things I'm struggling with. So, I remember, like the images are, I mean, for some reason, it's not honoring the viewport, right? So if I shrink and zoom, like the text flows nicely, but I think I have a width limit to max width limit on each of the images because it was just going, way off the screen. Not sure why the images are not respecting the viewport. Okay, so that's the app, and that's what it's working. But let's fix up a few things. I think I want to maybe use some custom fonts because this is a text-heavy app and it's not looking particularly nice. I don't want you to let the user shrink this too much because, well, it has a min width at least. But I know like .NET MAUI for .NET 7 has some more windowing capabilities, especially on desktop. So we want to fix that. But essentially what you saw was we start with the list view. Let's see, what else do I have? I have some global usings, Maui program.cs, there's nothing going on there. This is the list view XAML. That's using a Telerik red list view. And then on appearing, which engineering team tells us to not use that, so I might want to change that. This is Shane Nouveau. I think he was on stream. He was like, stop using that. It's not performant enough and it doesn't have context, especially if you're using like modal windows. So I need to fix that. And then anyways, like I am essentially when the page shows up maybe on navigated to, we want to do a fetch and bind, and it's all async and await all the way through. So we do a fetch and then we eventually set the item source to that. So there are probably more elegant ways of doing it. I'm just trying to get, excuse me, the lowest, denominator first. And then when you tap on an issue, this is the issue picked thing. We take you to the detail view, and we carry that ID with you. And then on the detail view, so this is where I started with the Blazor web view, but doesn't look like I need any of this stuff, because the generic web view, which is the same browser component, that is good enough, because like this is static HTML. I don't need any Blazor routing, anything like that. It's just static. So I just name it something, and then I think somewhere I just give it the whole HTML, right? So see the HTML, it's coming from this HTML body, and I just give it that whole thing. So the data for this is coming from Azure, like I said. So let's show you that. All right, let's go into Cosmos DB. All right, and go to resource. Okay, Data Explorer. Oh, you see my credits and my emails, so overlook that. So I have an issue list which has a couple of items here, 1, 2, and 3. That's what's pulling up the first view, which is the list view. And then I have issues, which has items. Item 1 doesn't really have anything. It's just that's the text that you saw first. And then item 2 is the one that has this whole thing. So it's a long blob of text essentially that comes that's embedded in it as an HTML body. It's being pulled back out as JSON, and then we just show it in a web view. That's the app. Okay. Now there are a couple of things I don't like. First is how that's rendering, and I'll show you what it was rendering before. Let's see if I can pull this up. Yeah, I have it saved here. So this is the HTML that's coming back. And the content of this, like anything from this like paragraph, that's the content of that newsletter. So nothing here has any CSS, nothing else, but I am just adding a couple of things in here. So I was thinking that this viewport will do its thing. Like I'm adding a meta tag, and you'll notice how everything is kind of escaped, because like it's JSON and it's coming down from the cloud service, so the double quotes kind of mess it up. So I am escaping all the things. But this device width, it's not honoring that for some reason. So I'm doing this hackish thing of putting a max width on all of the images. Maybe there's a better way. I don't know. So that's my that's where I had left it last time around. But let's see how I can clean up and maybe do some custom fonts. On the list view, I want to do like a swipe gesture. So let's see. Oh, you got updates here. Mac Catalyst. Oh, of course. So there are updates on the Azure Cosmos DB, but more importantly, see, this is old. This is 2.3.0. So Telerik UI for .NET MAUI is our UI library, and it's now running on .NET 7. So I bet this is still running on .NET 6. So project file. Yeah, okay. So this might be a tad risky, but I'll do it. What the heck, right? So the promised path from .NET 6 to .NET 7 should be really simple for a simple app like this. You just essentially change this from 6 to 7. You blow away a couple of your build directories, and that's about it, hopefully, right? So let's try this. We're going to update that to 7. We're going to update that to 7, and Mac Catalyst that to 7. Okay, so just the target frameworks have changed. Ooh, what do you mean? Reload? Okay, yeah, reload. Okay, did something. Just the project structure should have changed. Or, I mean, not the project structure, just the TFMs, the target frameworks. Did it do anything else? No. Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back in here. Where are my projects? Sands of Maui. So this is kind of good practice, and I know like a lot of Xamarin developers did this anyways. So you want to blow away your bin and OBJ when you switch frameworks like this, or anytime you're doing DI that you're changing up. It's always good practice to blow them away. And now the NuGet packages are going to be out of sync. So let's update. This is still in preview, so I think the latest one is like 3.1 for our stuff, but let's see if I do an update. It says it's updating. All right. Okay, there you go. So new package for Cosmos, Skia Sharp updates. All right. Oh, there is the MAUI update. All right. Accept all the things. It'll be interesting to see if it builds. Package is updated with warnings. What warnings? ASP.NET compatibility. Yeah, I don't care about that. It's just a web view I need anyways. Okay. I think we're fine. All right, let's do a build. Rebuild. Cleaning up. I don't know, Alan, if you're still there. I don't know if Prism has a new update, because I know Dan Siegel was working on, the last I heard was like .NET 6 supporting bits. I don't know if he has .NET 7 once out. And I know he's been working a little bit with like Uno platform for some things he's mentioning. Maybe we'll have him on the show and just come and show us what's latest with Prism and anything else that he's working on. And same goes with for you, Alan. If you got new things to show off with, like Shiny, open invitation to come and join me any Thursday. Okay, so it is doing a whole bunch of builds or new things it's doing. So let's see, the bin and the OBJ are now back. That's my debug for Android, iOS, Mac Catalyst. Oh, it's what's this you're doing? Okay, bundle names. Not yet. I'll bug him. Okay. Oh, sorry, I coughed in your ears. I hit the mute button, but it didn't work. Sorry about that. Now, while this is building, ooh, we got errors. That's not fun. That is not fun. Wait. Build output. Show me the errors. Hold on, this is way too small. Why is this not pinned? Source splash screens colors. Oh, those are changed. That's on Android. .NET 7. I blew them away. If I'm not running an Android, should I be fine? Let's run this on Mac Catalyst. Yeah, now it says 0 errors. Yeah, it's working on Mac Catalyst. I don't know what that errors were for. Okay. Tap on that. Okay, so we're back in business. So there you have it, folks. This is super simplified, obviously, but .NET 6 project over to .NET 7. Just change up the target frameworks. Now, the thing that you do need to worry about are your dependencies, right? So the framework thing is easy. but you need to make sure that all of your dependencies, like in this case, my framework bits are fine because these are all coming from .NET MAUI. You can see the .NET 7 RC2 2224, whatever is that thing, the latest one, and .NET 7 is almost ready. So I'm sure you folks have seen, not .bet, .NET Conf. This is coming up early November, and that's when you'll have .NET 7 bits out and ready in production. Okay, so Alan was trying to help me. It's a bug, rebuild. Okay, if you're testing on Catalyst, just remove Android for now. Okay. Well, it did do an Android or a Mac Catalyst build. Yeah, there are some tooling issues, let me just say. So the .NET MAUI community, we have been, passionate, but there is no denying there are some tooling issues, and there have been, some chatter off late that maybe we are getting ahead of ourselves. But .NET MAUI is here to stay. It's your swearing follows. It's your .NET cross-platform strategy going forward. So the team has been trying, and it's a lot of engineering work. And yes, there are some gaps in the story, and let's all work towards fixing those gaps and trying to give the team all the feedback they need so they can do the right things. This is true for anything in the dev world, any platform, any framework. It's good to be opinionated. This is true for like Angular, React, or any other framework, until your opinions don't match the opinions of the team, right? So the shell, the way we do navigation, everybody has opinions, and the .NET MAUI team did do a few things that were opinionated, trying to give people a good starting point, but it's not for everyone. So folks like Alan or Dan Siegel will tell you and then me too, the first thing we do is just blow away the shell so we can do it ourselves. But that's fine. We have the option of doing that, and you're not forced into it. I think for a majority of developers, they're trying to give them a happy path. Okay, we are on .NET 7. We are looking good. All of the TFMs are updated, and all of our bits are good. So the NuGet packages is what you need to do. Oh, look at that. We're at 3.2.1 for Telerik UEFI MAUI. That's the .NET 7 supporting bits. And it looks like the Cosmos bits, although they don't have much to do with .NET by itself, they're on 3.3.1. So everything is up and running and latest. Let me check my... Ooh, what are these item groups for? I didn't add them. They just set up for removal. This is fine. Include these folders. I don't know why they need to be named like this, but there's a whole bunch of remove things, so I can blow them away eventually. Okay, so all of my references are right. All right. So that's good. Yeah. Okay, so we are good back on .NET 7. Now let's fix up a few of the things that I don't like. First is the fonts. Since it is a text-heavy thing, I was thinking of maybe using some custom fonts. And I want the fonts to be not just for the list, but also in the web view itself when we render the content. So let's go look at that. So .NET MAUI, I think it's pretty easy just to register, and you just have to mark the font. Yeah, so I'm in the .NET MAUI docs user interface fonts, right? So fonts, yeah, so they start out with, what do they start out with? I don't like what they have. Open Sans. So Lobster, I haven't heard of Lobster fonts. So bring in the TTF and then drop it in the resources fonts folder. You'll have an item like this, and then consuming the fonts. I don't want to do this on every label. I'm sure there's a way of doing it all through. Setting font attributes, blah, 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 font size, auto scaling, font icons. Yeah, I might need some glyphs. Okay, so Do people have any strong preferences for fonts for text-heavy apps? Maybe, I know this has a lot of fonts. Ooh. I do. What was the Windows Store default font? Sans something? Let's do a search on Sans. Oh, I think Open Sans is what they're using. I want just a little bit more, heavier letters and characters. This is not bad. So is this Noto Sans. I have never used it. DM Sans. Oh, this is way too heavy. Noto Sans Mono. Oh, hey, Blazer, Mr. Magoo is here. Are you working on Comic Sans? Oh, you people. Yeah, Comic Sans. I did not know how much folks with a design background hate Comic Sans. I just did not know. I may have accidentally used some and then gotten a mouthful. But yeah, good to see you, Mr. Magoo. So no, I'm just trying to switch up to something else than what comes in the box, and I also want to see how that font works on the web view. Now keep in mind, this is not the Blazor web view, which is, it's rendering the same web components essentially, but I don't need anything Blazor. Graphic novel Sans, yeah. You know what? This is fine. Noto Sans. Okay, so they have support for lots of languages. Oh, styles. Okay. So thin, italic, extra light. Yeah, it's a lot, and that'll do just fine. This might actually be a good exercise to see how fonts are handled here. So how can I change up the language so I see? This is regular. Oh, there. No, preview text. Yeah, I don't know what that means. These are the types of fonts. Okay. Okay, let's go with this. Okay, so download the family. Okay. Okay, it's done. Let's go out here. Downloads. There is my Noto. Oh, so they give you TTF files for everything. Each of the styles is a TTF. So I have to choose up front which one it is. If not, I will have to add multiple TTFs. Okay, so let's choose one. Don't need the italics, and some of this stuff is getting to be too heavy. Maybe extra light, but then light is what I need. Probably just has a little bit more weight. So select light 300. Okay, so let's see. Wait, there is no select light. What was it called? Select light 300. Okay, so it's just called light. So maybe this one. Yeah, that looks fine. All right, so let's try this. So I'm going to copy this over, right? And projects, sense of Maui, that. Okay, now let's see where this goes. Where are my resources? Resources. Okay, fonts. All right, that's the Open Sans that comes built in. We want to change that to Noto Sans, right? So let's see. Resources, fonts. All right, there we go. So now I need to build action. Bundle resource, is that right? It should be, right? I shouldn't have to do anything different for iOS or Android. Let's stick with that. I don't know. Should I make it as content? Hold on, let's check. Okay, register the fonts. So this is the name of the TTF file, and then this is how I want to call it. Add font method. Resources that fonts provide, where its build action will be set automatically sent to MAUI font. Build action is MAUI font. Okay, this creates a corresponding entry in your project file. Okay, all right, let's see. So I'm going to come down here and name this Noto Sans Light, right? And we're just going to call this, I think this is the represents the text as sequence. So this is the name of it. Add fonts, the string file name, and then the alias. Yeah, so this is just the alias. So this doesn't matter. So it's just going to call it Noto. All right, and then what else? This should have automatically added something in my CS proj, MAUI font. Let's see if it did. Where's my CS proj? Thought I just had it open. It closed it. All right, so app identifiers, display name, app icon, images, raw assets. Where's my font? It didn't do anything with fonts. Am I missing something? App icon is here, splash, images. Do I need to do anything else? Like explicitly add it? Because why isn't there? Or maybe it's just automatic because it's in the resources fonts folder. Because we don't need to add it for the Open Sans one, which comes built in. Maybe. Let's give it a try. So what else do I need to do? Consuming the fonts on the labels, I just have to mention the font family to be whatever. Okay, let's try this. Let's go to our issue list view, which is this. What's with the squigglies? Now, where's my issue list? Not the detail, this one. Okay, so that's my label. That's what's binding it. Okay, let's add font family of Noto, right? Let's see if this will work. So let's do a rebuild. For all of you web folks out here, I know Laser Mr. Meguru, you're a web guy. I could use some help with viewports because I'm not sure why it's not playing nice with some images. I'll show you that in just a second. Why are the builds taking so long? Well, it's a rebuild, so maybe. So essentially, the web view is showing something like this, right? So this is the actual content of the newsletter. So this is just straight up from the CMS, just paragraphs and text and hyperlinks, nothing else to it. I thought that I would do a viewport and then just say, you know, your initial scale is 1. You can scale it if you wanted to, but this device width should control. I mean, everything is surrounded by that device width. You can't go bigger than that, but the images are not honoring that at all. So any of the image source tags, they are just going way off. True on Mac, true on iOS and Android. So I'm not sure why. What? How can you come back with 18 build errors? We just did a build. Let's just run it. Oh, now you got errors. So maybe it was what Alan was saying, rebuild. Okay, it's gotten very confused for some reason, you know? So when nothing else works, you close Visual Studio and bring it back up. Hopefully that fixes it. Is it coming up? There you go. Okay, now we're back. Font family is there, my font is there. What happened to, I mean, it just worked and then it's complaining about the builds. Let's try it again. Try it again, it's building. No, see, now it builds. What did he say? That's my build happy face. Now it's working. So what was the deal? Visual Studio, why did you bark at me? It was working just fine. Oh, see, I think it's actually showing the new fonts. Like this looks a little different. It's hard to tell, but I think that's a different font than the rest of this, because this is whatever the thing is. Huh. And maybe it'll show more if I change that header font as well. So let's do that. That header is coming from where? That's just a content page. Is that the name of the app? There is no header on the page itself. And I should add a header here. Overland Gamer, just an FYI, the Coded Live stream calendar is mostly blank when I can catch them. Okay, that is good to know. I think they may have been some mismatches, because like what we do is essentially whenever we do stream, we add it to a shared calendar, and that's supposed to sync with the calendar that you see on the Twitch page. So maybe something broke and it's not syncing. So thank you, Overland Gamer. I will ping the folks who do that, and hopefully they can fix it back up. Yeah, thank you. And thanks for being here. Okay. So I think we're good. I think it's using the right fonts. But here's the thing. This is all fonts that are used when you come to, a XAML page. But all of that's going to fly out of the window because of the actual content is HTML, right? So this font, I think it's fine, font family, but to actually get the fonts to show up in the content itself, I need to, I think, go into the HTML, because like this is what it's actually showing, unless like there's a hack, I don't know, like the web view will not inherit the fonts directly, because like it's just showing whatever HTML. So I might have to just hand the fonts over in the HTML. Oh, this will get tricky. Let's go back to Xamarin documentation. Xamarin custom fonts in web view. Learn, implement custom forms, maybe this. Oh, so you can actually set it on the web view itself? I didn't know that. No. How do I set up web view? Oh, see, they are going into the doc type, into the actual HTML. Yeah, like that. Font family, like that. Yeah. Can I do that? Can I just like add a font family? Because like it should have the font that's loaded up as a part of like as a resource loaded up as a part of the app itself. Can I just stick in that font? Okay, let's try it, and I might look around a little bit more before I do that. So let's do that. So style, is that where do I do that? In the style tag. Can I just do this, or is it going to bark at me? Oh, what font family? That needs to be like this? No. Hold on. Is it, hold on for a second. Trying to find the right way. How to load custom fonts. Encode. I don't need encoding. It's already encoded in here. Not a good one here. Maybe this one. Okay. Yeah, create a fonts folder, assets, build action. That's all set. It's in the body. Maybe I can. Should it be in the style? Geez, this is I'm not a CSS person. Setting fonts in CSS. Change fonts. No, I'm not really changing it. I just want to set it. The best approach is to have at least yeah, but it's not liking this. Should I do this outside? No, it should be this is terrible. I don't know how to do basic stuff. Overland Gamer, how often do you put in testing points for your code while writing it? Right now it has nothing, which is terrible of me. But yes, I would like to add some unit tests to this. Right now I'm just trying to get it to work, basic stuff. But yes, formally on a production app you would like to have metrics of how much test coverage you want and so on. So looks like it's not something you set on the body whatsoever. It's just, or on the head, it's just something on the body. Okay. Okay. So on the body itself, do I need to wrap the whole thing in my font? I don't want to do that. Font, oh, face equals that. I can do that. And hopefully I can just do it once and that's it. Base font. What is base font? Supposed to set a default font size. I do need the base font then. All right, let's try this. So I would go in the body and just add that. Now I don't want any of this. How did this .NET stream become all about fonts? Because I just wanted to replace the fonts. And here we are, trying to fix up fonts. Alan Ritchie is trying to help me out. Style HTML. Oh, so I can do it in the style itself, because I would ideally not want to go into the body, because the body is coming straight from the CMS. Okay, so I'm going to follow Alan's advice here. So HTML star. Okay. Oh, I see. Font family. Here we go. Now, will it know if I just say Noto? Because I have that as an alias. Let's see. Okay. So here's what I have to do, and this is completely unwarranted, but this is, perfectly fine HTML. But the way this is, I'll copy this. When I put this as a JSON in my Azure Cosmos DB, apparently line breaks really get it confused. I don't know why, and I haven't figured out a way of entering this in any other way. So let me take you to my backend here. So it's way too small, right? Here's my backend, right? So this editor gets very confused with line breaks. So I have to flatten it out. And I found a website that does it. It's just removelinebreaks.php. So let me show you. So this one here, I just need to come in here, paste that whole thing, and I hit remove line breaks, and all it does is just goes, it's the same exact HTML, but just removes all the line space from it. All right, so copy that, and now we can go in here in our HTML body, and hold on, can we go all the way back? This is the entire, oof, it's long scrolling. Oh, it's saying dot dot dot. That's not good. What if I delete that whole thing? Oh, there you go. Now it's gone, but it's getting confused. That's fine. We'll put a comma in there. And there you go. I may be messing this up. And I can paste that. So that's my HTML body now. And it's not liking something. It's not letting me save. Okay. Undo, undo. This was fine. It was just... Come on. Show me the end of this thing so I can paste it right. No, that's not the end. Hold on, this is terrible. I can just wipe out this whole thing. There you go. So now we can write HTML body. Right now it is all still JSON. So that, and then comma. There you go. Now it should fix it, and now I will paste in my thing. Now this will have the content width and then initial scale. There's my font family of Noto. All right, update. All right, that's in. Actually, let's see what we have here. Oh, this one's just an HTML and body. Yeah, we'll let that be. Alan Ritchie is saying, can you do my HTML replace? Yes, yeah, I could do that. Yeah, I'm just using a tool because I just chanced upon it, but yes. So essentially replace new lines with, what is the whack R? Is that some sort of a not new line character? Because that's what it gets confused in here in this editor. And I'm sure there are other ways of, entering the data into Cosmos DB that I don't know. I'm just using the default thing. Okay, let's run this. Let's run this. So far, just all of this just to change up the fonts. All right. Okay, this one's running. Here we go. Unless this is cache, like looks about the same. It doesn't look like the new fonts, does it? I don't know. I'll play around because this is coming down to HTML. Yeah, this looks different for sure, but not the HTML. Okay, I'm kind of getting tired of fonts. So let's do something else. I'll figure out a font. I think I have the basics right here with the font family. Maybe it's just the font family needs to be explicitly named. Oh, maybe let's try this one more time. Hold on, one sec. Instead of just calling it Noto, which is just an alias, maybe we call it the whole thing. So here, instead of saying that, let's. Can you give me a thing? Noto sans dash light. All right. One last thing with fonts, and then we'll move on. If I say Noto sans dash light, now we are explicitly naming the font family. Hit update, and let's see if it picks up. This is the last thing with fonts. Oh, and I should run this on iOS to see how it's looking. Still looks about the same. I don't know. All right, let's run this on iOS. Oh, look at that iPhone 14 Pro Max. I'm on iOS 16 because like Xcode 14 shipped, and then .NET 7 and .NET MAUI now has support for it. So we're on the latest and greatest bits. On my, I have a baby Mac for productivity. That one is on Mac OS Ventura. This one is not yet. Is it building? What's it doing? Start. Loading Android dependencies when I'm doing an iOS build. So while it's building, here's the other thing I want to do. If I head out to our stuff, let's close up a few things here. What I'm using is the list view. Excuse me. So let's go to the list view. If I look at the list view, this is actually something I want to implement. So I can do gesture support, or there's the iPhone simulator coming up. Yeah, I want to do it like I should be able to swipe over and then be able to favorite a couple of the issues, right? So maybe out of the 70+ issues, now you like a few things, you want to bookmark them. So I want to be able to add like a little heart thing so you can favorite that. So I can try doing that. Load on demand and all of these other things. It's not a bunch of data. It's just like, a list of, 70 text-based items that I'm loading. So I'm not concerned about that. And when you tap on each item, that is when I make the service call to pull the whole HTML body out for just that issue. And once I pull it out, like that's going to be cached. And maybe I should write that to file. For each of the issues that we do make a GET request for. So filtering, customizing, I don't need any of the other stuff really. But this one I do want to add. Let's see, iOS. Oh, there it is. So it is running fine on iOS. Let's go in here. My fan is going crazy on the little MacBook. Yeah, this is not the right font. So I'm not doing something right to give the font to the web view. See, the images are, they're looking okay, but they have a width max set on them. But otherwise, they look way too big. Yeah. Okay. So I think this is good, but the HTML is not picking up the fonts yet. So I'll figure that out. All right. Shall we try doing this really quick? Let's go into the docs. How much time? Oh, I've already been streaming for an hour. Maybe I can go another 15-20 minutes. Let's see. Let's change this back up to Map Catalyst. And on the list view itself, no, not that. Let's come down here. Controls, list view, cells grouping, layouts, gestures. See, that's what I want. Pull to refresh. Maybe it's built in, but it's not much data that we're pulling in right now. Cell swipe. Okay, so this is what I do need. Excuse me. So when I swipe right, I do want an icon. So is swipe enable needs to be true. There's a swipe threshold, offset. I think it's like how much you're moving it. And then there are events like swipe completed. So I might want to tap into that and then have an event handler that marks something as favorite. Command support MVVM. Not quite doing that yet, which I eventually should. So here's an example of inbox mark as read or delete. Yeah, I can do that. And then yeah, this is kind of what I was thinking. Hold on for just 1 second. Let's. Okay, this time around the mute button did work, and I'm not coughing in your ears. Yeah, this is what I do want. Excuse me. Yeah. So we need to have a item swipe content template. Yeah, we can add that. But the first thing would be on the list view itself to add item swipe enable to true. Let's go do that. Here's my list view. Item tapped. Yeah. Item swipe enabled, true. Now, I think the offset controls how much you have to offset. And I think if you swipe enough and then it shows up, maybe the width of whatever, like the heart icon, should be the same as the offset. So let's add these two. Swipe offset is 70 pixels. Swipe threshold. What is the swipe threshold? What does that do? The threshold defines the length in pixels of the swipe gesture that is required to trigger the feature. Okay, so how much? Okay, so that can be low. Yeah, that's good. And then let's add, let's add this delete button for now. Maybe I can do a rating control because then I can have a heart thing, or I can get away with the glyph maybe. So this is the item template. This is what I need. So just that. Now this one just has a button, and it's a bit of an overkill to have a grid inside, but it's all right. Oh, this looks bad. So we'll copy that over, move it over a little bit more on this side. There you go. So now the rad list view has an item swipe content template, which has a grid, padding, everything is 0, just one button, background color is red, doesn't actually have a text. We'll just call it favorite. Oh, there is a text in there already. Okay, sorry. All right, clicked, doesn't need to have a clicked thing right now. width request is 70. So I think this 70 is the same as this swipe offset, I think. All right, let's try this, and then I'll have to change some things in the model to add a thing, because like each of the items that come down, so here's the issue list, right? So they have an ID, they have a name, and they have a published date. I should also add like a is favorite thing to it and then marry it up to the UI. But let's see if the UI is working. Where's the UI gone? Okay, let's try this. Do a build on a Mac. Sorry about my voice today. I got an itchy throat, looks like. Build. Okay. Oh, here we go. Let's see if this will actually work. So this is my list view, okay? And now I should be able to... Ah, there you go. Aha, nice. Now, how does it know which way to swipe? Can I swipe on the right? No. So see how does it know left or right? I can do it on all of them. So instead of a button like that, I would like to have maybe a transparent a thing with just the heart for you to favorite that. And I should probably have an icon for each of the issues. That's easy to make. Okay, so this is at least working. Okay, let's do this. Let's try this. Just one last thing maybe, and then I'll figure out how to actually bind it to the model. Don't we have a rating control? Yeah, we have a rating control. So this one gives you the heart, the star, and then you can do like custom geometries, which is, you know, fun to play around with. But I could just use the heart. So let's see, getting started. So it comes default is like 5 or 6 stars. I thought there was a property where I can configure how many of those show up. Configuration, item count. Yeah, see that? All right, let's try this. Rad shape rating. What do you mean shape? Can I not control what type it is? Shape rating. Geometries. Default is a star, diamond, heart. See, I need that. Rad shape rating, item shape is a heart. Okay, I need that. Let's see how this shows up. What is an automation ID? I don't know. So, because this one doesn't have anything other than the red list view. Okay, let's get rid of the button. And what if I just did this? Oh, wait a second. No. I still need to... this one is by default the first thing in the grid. So I'll give it some margin and some padding. Item shape. I don't know what automation ID is, but there are some things I think I need to do before I do that. So what are some things I need? Geometries, red shape. Do I not need a namespace or anything like that? Shape styling. Oh, there are some very fancy things that we can do. But let's look at getting started. What do I need? Okay, so XML namespace, Telerik schema, blah, blah, blah. I think I already have that. Schema 2022 XAML MAUI, yes. Now register those things. I have that. Use Telerik. That's all it needs. Let's go look in Maui program.cs. Use Telerik is right there. All right. So hopefully that's it. This might completely blow up in my face, but let's see what it is. So I don't need this width request thing. I might want to do that because that's what's matching it up. And then item shape is the heart. Do you think this will work? Yeah, get rid of that. Let's see. All right. Let's see how badly it'll blow up. It's built. All right, here we go. Swipe over. Oh, look at that! Yay! It did work. I think I need to make each of the items a little bigger and then decrease the count. I can do that because didn't we just see a configuration mode where item count is 7? It looks like its default is like 2 in this case. So I can just make the item count of 1, right? And for each of the list view, like I want to have a certain spacing, but I mean that's a list view property. Like each of the rows should have a certain height to them. But let's run this again. This is all fixable. You know what I should do? I should have hot reload working so I'm not having to do this build every time and then just keep. So when I'm working by myself, I have an iPad as my second monitor because like Apple ecosystem, stay within the walled gardens, good things happen. And I'll move the simulator off to the iPad and then just keep it running. But let's see if this is working. Yeah, I mean, you can see. I have to fix it up. I have to put it in the middle. This white space is looking awkward, but this is all fixable. And then I can just do that to put a heart on it. Yeah. Okay. It's a start. I will fix up the row height. I will try to fix up the location of this. Yeah, and we can go from there. All right. Yeah, I think I'm over my hour, but yeah, thanks for joining me, folks. Alan Ritchie, Overland Gamer, Blazer, Mr. Magoo, everyone. I love you. Thanks for helping out in the chat, and I'll keep this going. Next week, next Thursday, I think I might have a guest come and join me from the Maui team. So I will try to keep this work going. Maybe a little bit. I mean, everything that you see about this app, I have built it on stream. So hey, Alan Ritchie. So it's slow going, but I think I need to work on this a little bit offline, so you're not catching me fumbling with fonts as basic as fonts every time. But I think I got a good start here. I just need to work on this a little bit more to fix up some of the formatting and the layout. And then we can do things like, I really do want to do push notifications on this. So anytime there's a new issue, anytime I push to Azure Cosmos DB, you should get a push notification to say, hey, there's a new issue out there. So that's my end goal, right? So I'll keep on working, but thanks for hanging out with me on this Thursday. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever you're up to. I hope you're productive, be healthy, and I'll see you on the next stream. All right, bye for now.